Stephen Coughlin is a lawyer and former Joint Chiefs of Staff intelligence analyst who has exposed Islamist infiltration at the highest levels. Really terrific stuff. But the Muslim Brotherhood and the Vatican?
What I did was I started looking a number of years back under Pope Benedict, some things that were happening, especially when Benedict came to the United States. I mean, it was kind of heralded as him visiting the United States, but his real reason to come was to give a speech at the United Nations on human rights, where he gave a speech that really directly countered a view of human rights that is very popular with something called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which is they're not the same as the Brotherhood, but they're somewhat aligned with them in their viewpoint. And at the same forum, when the local bishops introduced the Pope to some of the local Muslims, almost all of them seemed to have very close alignments to organizations known to be affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood in America.
This could be bad or naive planning, it could be infiltration, but Pope Benedict also, of course, made a wonderful speech in Germany repeating questions asked by a medieval emperor about the nature of Islam. I mean, he was threatened with death, there were arrests made, violence occurred, people were killed after that. He wasn't someone, surely, who did hide away from the real issues.
No, as a matter of fact, I don't think he did at all. And when I first started following this issue, it was really in the context of why did the USCCB, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, why did they seem to take positions that countered what Pope Benedict was doing? Because I think the former Pope really understood the issue and was really getting shut out in his own domain. And it concerned me. And what I did was I looked and found out that there was a case in the United States in 2008 called the Holy Land Foundation case. And what it did was it provided a document called the Explanatory Memorandum, which was the Brotherhood's key strategy document that was discovered. And as part of that document, they listed all the MB, Muslim Brotherhood members in America. And it just turned out that when you went and looked at who was doing outreach with not just the Catholic Church, but the synagogues and the mainstream Protestant communities, it was almost always a Muslim Brotherhood entity. And then, I did a little more research and found out that there's actually, in the information operations world, you have something called a line of operation. And of course, when you want to fight an IO war, you have a line of operation going after the government, after the media, after education, and after the other religious institutions. And I found that there's actually a published book, in English no less, put out by an organization called the IIIT, the International Institute of Islamic Thought, which is a known affiliated entity of the Muslim Brotherhood in America, that actually talked about how they were going to do outreach and what they're doing. And you could just see the close alignment. So much so that what you find is that, for example, a couple years ago, a Catholic deacon was going to give a presentation to a Catholic men's group at a Catholic forum in Boston, and the bishop ordered it canceled.
Is this Robert Spencer?
Allow it to be on those. As a matter of fact, it is Robert Spencer.
I mean, he's a friend and he's on the show every week. Now, let me ask you, I don't think this is in any doubt that the Brotherhood have a very sophisticated way of reaching out, and it's a form of infiltration. Look, Foreign Department, the State Department, the Foreign Office in England, the Vatican Foreign Service, they tend not to reflect the government or the governing regime. I think, for example, you've had 3 popes in a row who've been very sympathetic towards Israel. I don't think the Vatican Foreign Service is as sympathetic. But you have a pope now who is reforming things. I mean, surely he's the man to say, we're going to do it my way now.
Well, my great concern is, first of all, I don't want to get in a situation. I'm personally Catholic, so I'm not in a, I'm kind of really hesitant to put down any pope, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Pope Francis. But he did put out a document called Evangelium Gaudium in, I think, November 2013, that I think is paragraph 253, flat out stated that Islam, properly understood, does not call for violence. And
well, what he did say,
I have just
what he said was the Quran read prayerfully is not violent. Now, I don't believe he actually wrote that. I think he was badly advised. I think it's a clumsy phrase.
And I'm not trying to second-guess it in that context, because I do think there are serious problems going on with Christians in the non-Muslim world. Yes. But I also think that statement is actually just not correct.
No, I agree.
And it can't be made right. And that goes to the question of, am I accusing the Pope of being a shill for the Muslim Brotherhood? No. In fact, I think most of the people who are doing this are really not aware of who these people are.